What's going on? So I would start recording and then the wind decides to pick up, but whatever. And for whatever reason, a little sniffly, but whatever. So might be clearing my nose a little bit in this video, but whatever, what can you do? Kind of funny because it didn't really start until I was getting ready to go for a ride. Not the wind, like sinus crud, whatever. It'll go away, or it'll just be one of those things. And I guess the one frustrating part about today's ride is the ride out is with the wind pushing. The ride back is going to be with the wind going into the wind. So, and yet again, I'm going to be switching out tires. I only have about 1,000 miles on these Gator Skins, but just fed up with flat tires. So I'm going to the Schwalbe, however their name is pronounced, Marathon Plus, which right after I ordered those, I saw that Continental has pretty much an equivalent tire. I think it's the Continental Contact Plus, but the Marathon is on a couple of tire rating comparisons is rated better, so give those a try and see how they do. And I don't know if the new camera position is very obvious on the video, because I've only looked at it on the little preview screen on the back of the 360X4. So could be better, I'm not sure, but it's better for me because now whether I'm riding on the aero bars, on the elbow pads, the hoods, the drops, wherever I'm riding, when the camera's installed, I can still see my computer in any of those positions. So that's, to me, is important. So I liked the original camera angle, but I prefer to be able to see what the camera, I prefer to see what the computer is displaying. And I feel like the offset angle might be a little more visually interesting. And it might also help, kind of tucking the camera a little bit more by my arm to block some of the wind. I don't know. Could be wrong. I guess it kind of depends on which way the wind is coming from. Because now one of the mics is more pointed forward. I don't know. We'll have to see. Or I'll have to see, because I'll see the video first, and I'll know how good or bad the audio is. And if it's terrible, this video won't go anywhere other than into the recycle bin on the camera. But I did finally upgrade my phone to the Z Fold 6. I wanted to get the newer folding Pixel, but my carrier isn't getting that one, and I'm not a fan of, especially nowadays, just buying the what you call it, got sidetracked with messages. So yeah, so I got a new phone finally. And I say finally because, oh yeah, some at the carrier. So my thing is, if you're buying, and this is just my logic, and I also have some logic with my tire replacement, and I could be wrong, I could be correct, I don't know. But my thing is I don't want to buy something just outright from whatever vendor, direct from Samsung or Google or whoever, and then activate it on that plan, because you might run into issues of certain features don't work because it's not a supported phone on your network. So certain things that should work won't work. So I was just like, whatever, I'll get the Samsung. And my biggest fear really was in getting a new phone was that I was going from an LG Wing, which I kind of got that phone right when LG said, hey, we're no longer going to make cell phones. We're going, I guess, into the enterprise space. So okay, well, I guess this will be my last LG phone, and I think those people know that they're not supposed to be up there. Like, it's a footpath or a bike path, or like emergency vehicle use path, not a general car path. And I believe it says no motorized vehicles on there, like when you're pulling up to the trail. Oh well. But it's my thing with the phones. Like I said, I could be wrong, I don't know. But when I got the phone, my biggest concern was moving from an LG to a Samsung. They're both Androids, that a lot of stuff would just be, lost in the move. I've had that before when I've switched other phones, where you end up having to manually do a whole lot of re-logging in and resetting passwords, installing programs, moving their files over, and it becomes quite a process. I was able to get the new phone, everything switched over, set up, logged in. Took me, I did it over the course of 2 days. I'm pretty happy about. Although if it was 2 days, I still carry around my old phone because sometimes some of the apps are two-factor. It's like I kind of needed to be able to, do you have access to the other device? If so, we can send a code through the app to verify that it's you. And so I pretty much have everything all logged in and set up. The one thing I will say, and I looked at, I believe it was the Pixel 8 or 9 XL, and the way the LG Wing is it's like a phone, but then the screen kind of flips. If you haven't ever seen one, it almost kind of looks like an airplane, or the letter T, and capital letter T. And it was nice because you could have an app across that top screen, and you could use a second app in the bottom. So if you're watching something on, say, YouTube, and you need to send a text message to somebody, and the video won't picture-in-picture or whatever, it was handy. So when I looked at the Pixel 8 or 9, whichever one it was, XL, the screen was the same size, but I was missing out on that second screen type functionality. So I started looking at the folding phones, and well, went with the Z Fold 6. So now it looks like the wind might be shifting probably actually for the better, because right here it looks like it's pushing straight in from the lake, so that is better. Better for the return home, because it was going to be a headwind the whole way home. I was not looking forward to that. But I also applied the same logic to my tire purchase. Similar logic, I guess. And I would really almost have to talk to like an engineer at Schwabel, and I almost feel like even if you asked them, or if you read like the warranty information, you would probably find the answer to this question, because right now I'm running Continental tires and tubes, and a 700 by 32 tire. The tubes are for a 725 to 35. 25 to 32. And my whole concern was when I switched to the tires, I have 3 Continental tubes at the house as spares, buying the 2-packs, and my whole theory was that, well, it'd be better to run same brand tube and tire, because if there's some kind of special compound or chemical or something like that that one company uses on their tubes that could cause degradation of the tire or the tube rubber. Is it possible? Well, is it probable? I guess. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a chemist. I'm not an engineer nor a chemist for Schwabel. So I figured it would be for the best. Spend an extra few dollars new tubes. I also need to replace the rear tube anyway. When I change the tires, front tube's probably okay, but the rear definitely has a hole in it because last weekend when I rode, when I got finished riding, something looked a little weird on the tire. I brushed my finger on it and some sealant shot out of the tire. So I was kind of inspected the tire a little more closely. It was a tiny, about half the size of a, half the size lengthwise of a grain of rice, and shaped like a little wedge. And it was just enough to go get into the tire and poke a little hole in the tube. But so far, the sealant's been holding up. And I do plan to run sealant in the new tubes. My only little bit of frustration is that I ordered everything and everything's being delivered over the course of like 3 different days. Tubes one day, sealant another day, and tires another day. Whatever. And I probably could have clicked through all the sellers that had the tires. I may have been able to find one of them that would get the tires to me on the second day of everything, but yeah, these tires are running fine. I mean, I've had 6 flights on them in 1,000 miles. So, and that's my other question is, I don't know if 6 flats in 1,000 miles is necessarily a bad thing or a good thing or above average, below average. And really, 3 of those flats were from the tire liners that I had in there, either pinching or chafing, either way, rubbing through the tube and causing them to go flat. So I just don't know. I know what I know, but it's just. And the other question is I really can't put my scenario to anybody else because they're not riding. I mean, I can ask it to others that ride out here, but I can't ask. My question is somebody who's riding on, the Blue Ridge Parkway, because they may have had 20 flats in 1,000 miles. They may have had 1. It's all relative to where people are riding at. So I'm trying to think of, trying to figure out the cause of the flights I've had. But like I say, hopefully the flights will be a thing of the past. Well, we'll go ahead and close out here, take a little water break, and I'll be back in the next video. And it doesn't look like the wind's changed.